want to do it during the meeting, but there's typos that I thought you would want someone to point out, because it's there. Yeah. I don't know if that's your typo or why you don't have a township. That was a question I was asked during the meeting. You don't have a township email?
Well, first of all, this is Jeremy. This is JC. Yeah, that's Jeremy. That's my brother. And that is his email.
I don't know what's supposed to be there though, it's just a space?
Well, it's probably his email, and it's an
Underscore
underscore.
thing, okay. Okay.
However, years ago,
Wouldn't it be better if we had a township?
I asked for all the firefighters to get township emails and was told no because of FOIA.
Is it what reason?
FOIA.
We need a
Communications could be.
You didn't change anything from our packet, did you?
But why wouldn't we want that? I mean, we're transparent.
Personally, I think that would be a better idea than having somebody.
Well, that's why I have a separate email, so it doesn't really.
And then there was just some things in here, it was some of the wording. And then here was a typo where you probably want fire department in there, and that was it. And that, I just didn't understand what it was.
Oh.
I figured this is gonna be a long meeting, so I'd rather just ask you guys right here, right now.
Oh, the budget amendment.
Oh, Columbia.
Last year.
Okay, okay.
Yep, see, that's right next to each other on the keyboard.
I don't know if it matters.
Notice I had to go to my keyboard to figure it out.
C and S or not. Your S is here.
Right, well, they're right next to each other.
C and S.
Right,
C and S.
right. So that's just here, it's right here.
Fine.
Is that?
No, it ain't.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why I was.
B is next to C.
Yeah. But I can never see it. Yeah, we're
Is
good.
it,
I get
did you
the.
X
update
is
it
next
at
to
all?
B.
Or is it the same one you gave me earlier today?
You're not with you, Robert, so I got with you already.
Oh, and
Okay.
we're done. Kid.
All right, I have this.
And I told you, the last update I had was that we were trying to warm up. See what the-
This packet laying on the table here is the replacement. Okay. So I'm gonna yank these two sheets out then, okay, so I don't get confused.
Absolutely, hold on, yeah.
Page one, page two. Let me just-
You can slide that thing off your pen. Howard versus yesterday.
Yeah.
And John's got one page, he's got one on it. We're good.
And are there extra copies for anybody that
And
wants?
where might the court be?
There's part of it now.
That is, a copy of the minutes from 1999. That, fire department was started, and the public service, they would do it by,
It's actually a lot of people.
Or they got changed later too.
the only thing
They got
that changed
reduced.
is the notice section, which she made up and did. But we can adjust that.
That was the bright side.
I mean, we can adjust that without.
I think the public insisted on it being reduced.
I don't know.
And that's the thing. There's missing
Then why do we have it?
I gave it to you in case you wanted to know, because looking for our time.
Oh, just for history. It's not part of the meeting.
No,
Okay,
that's
good.
a reference
Good, thank you.
history,
Yeah, I like that, thank you.
and these are official minutes
from Kim.
Yeah.
from Ken, because I can't get nothing from Stacy.
Got anything from Abraham Lincoln?
These came from the.
Fourscore and
We
seven.
asked her for when?
I did.
You did?
Did you
She
copy
asked
us
me,
on
John, how
that?
old are you? I said, well, when I got off the boat, we know.
Mind copying us on that?
I can.
I wish you would.
You made that request before, so that we know.
Yeah.
I sent her another one today saying I want all written minutes and all resolutions. And
From when?
Stacy,
I mean, all from.
From what time period?
whatever she has, I want from the very beginning, whatever she has. Because I want a history, I wanna know what's been going on, I wanna know.
Did you do it as a FOIA?
No, and I shouldn't have.
Okay, but you want to copy us on that, so we know what you're asking for and when? And are you asking for a certain time frame? Because the FOIA has a time frame. That's why I asked about a FOIA.
I did not do a FOIA, which I should have to do a FOIA, but if I have to
I'm
do a
not-
FOIA.
I understand
it's
that.
Quad, and that's not good.
But you could ask for, I would like to have this by such and such a time that you think is reasonable. And she can then say, I can't do it, or I can do it, and then there's something going.
And instead of everything you had, I would say, I want
office and I can sit here inside the room and we don't.
She's not gonna just hand over the books, but,
And that's ridiculous.
but copies can be made.
However, it needs to be done.
Or you could catch her when she's, or make an appointment for her to come in when you're here.
She won't come.
She shows up,
She's not coming.
she's not coming.
We're not positive. Isn't that what you said? Is that
She's gonna,
she didn't feel well and maybe she or Jody to come?
she was gonna try to get a hold of.
Oh, he's here.
Stacy said, even.
We need crowd control.
John would be the first one to go.
Oh, she's just trying to do something.
Who do I report a fire that, I'm sure they didn't ask for a bird permit? On 380 there, right next to the, next to the pallet company house, the old pallet company
Oh,
house.
yeah. Columbia Township doesn't have a burn ordinance.
Doesn't have what?
It does not have a burn ordinance.
I
We
thought you required burn permit.
do, but there's nothing in the township bylaws that says they have to do
And I
it.
know what he wants, and I don't have.
The fire department simply follows DNR rule
What's that?
of how and what and when.
Because they've got all that
Must be in a hurry, huh? No,
garbage, and then
Truth
they
and
just got all
taxation.
that wood from the road commission, and it's already
They want
a
to
fire
hurry.
hazard. And then
It's a truth we're gonna tax.
Unfortunately, we don't have a burn ordinance,
Oh,
so
I didn't realize that. Okay.
it's, we request burn
I
permits.
thought there was some reason that you could ask us to have a burn permit, because it says burn permits required. I
A
thought,
burn permit is nothing more than a
let you know.
courtesy, a courtesy
Yeah, to let you
from
know.
someone to let us know they're gonna burn. Legally, a burn permit doesn't remove any liability from you. If you have a fire that gets out of control, you can still be held liable for it. So, basically, like I said, we follow DNR law that says you're supposed to burn in a steel barrel with an expanded metal lid. You're not supposed to burn foam or plastic. You're not supposed to burn any wood products that have been manufactured. So, basically, you can burn limbs and leaves, down trees. You're not supposed to burn 2x4s or anything that's been altered from its original organic state.
And we don't have an ordinance to not burn garbage either.
Correct. And we have 2 free dump days. But that's a lot of garbage if you just store your garbage for 6 months at a time.
You wanna use the gavel or use the thing?
We're gonna call the Truth and Taxation Public Hearing to order. We'll call John,
Yes, here.
Beverly,
Here.
Karen,
Here.
Stacy, absent, Linda here. Open it up at this time for, need to make a motion to have, need us to take minutes.
I know who I've got.
Do you want me to try? I'm not good at it. but
Actually,
I'll try.
she'll look at the recording, so it doesn't have to be a lot, but.
I'll make a motion that Beverly.
You don't want me to?
I'll make some notes. I don't know if I can call it minutes, but we'll try.
Take notes, do I have a second?
I'll second. I know it'll come, I'll do the other one, how's that? You got a good deal.
Oh, okay. Good. That works.
Open it up at this time for public comment on our budget. Any public comments?
Did everybody get a copy of the summaries?
Comments?
Were they on the back table?
I didn't see him.
Are they hanging up?
They're hanging up, they probably didn't get any different copies, maybe. Looks like in the center there next to the cadet, that's the summary.
Oh, okay. Just one? That's just one? I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. I'll look at
Well, it's gonna show it, but now we're just doing public comment, and everyone, not to say anything about it, talk about it. questions about it?
Good girl.
I have knuckles and hammer standing by if anybody disagrees.
My public comment would be, is it balanced?
Yeah.
Okay.
Balance is it's gonna get.
They're actually, some of them are deficit budget amounts, but there's more than that already left in what's in the account now,
To cover.
more than covered.
Okay,
So we didn't get it,
Yeah.
We're not in the actual red.
okay,
We
yeah,
have some reserve,
okay.
like the lifesavers, you know?
But there's a hole in the middle though, right?
It's called the donut hole, you hope you're not in that one.
Oh, and the peppermint flavor.
Drains out
The
quick.
time period that you put up reading it holds you up.
The hole drains out quick though.
Well, depends how big your body is.
Yeah, true. How good of a seal you make.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Public comment? Is that what we're on?
Well, here comes the public.
He doesn't want to sit by you.
I had public comment about what?
Shower.
Anybody at all? No comments about the budget?
I got one.
What?
Better be good.
More money.
Yeah.
I want this board to consider putting me on a salary. I'm serious. Because of the running I do for the board and for the township. Damn it, they didn't say anything.
It's a comment.
We're making note of it, Butch.
Okay.
It's a comment.
Duly noted, we'll take that into consideration maybe next year. Duly noted.
And speaking of running that he did call in today because of that broken, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I didn't do it. I went out, if I can speak, if I'm speaking out of turn, tell me. But I went out and I ran the machine and it seemed to run good. So I would advise the board to have an electrician, if you have one, to check it out before the weekend. Cause I don't wanna go buy something and that not be the problem.
But you suspect it might be just
Yes,
a break?
I suspect it might be a 70 amp breaker.
Wow, 70 amps?
Yes,
You didn't know they made them.
you didn't.
So there's your answer to your question.
What'd you say?
Okay, hopefully, if I load the car up, it'll be working on Saturday.
Yes, it is. That was a brand
Yeah,
new machine they
electrical
put
problem.
in.
Okay.
How long ago?
10 years.
And we don't actually have an electrical contractor on call.
I don't.
I thought we had one. Wasn't there, there was a salary?
There is.
Oh, inspector, not a,
Would you check with Rhonda and see where she can have the vacant for copies? So we can like, I know.
oh, I thought, yeah.
Is that it?
I had left something in the copier too, that I'm sure was gone. I was just putting the check run.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're at public, right now, if anybody has a public comment about the, budget?
Good.
So the comment that I have, or question, I guess it's a comment, This is for everything that was in the budget for the fire department for this year?
And JC, we did already talk about getting together after about 6 months,
Okay.
especially because there's really kind of a different focus even, and doing some things differently as far as allocations.
Okay.
So maybe we could kind of take a pulse on that.
Allocations being,
Like how the part-time thing works,
Oh,
and things like
just-
that.
just
Get
checking in to
feedback
see what we're
from
doing.
you
Okay.
guys,
Okay.
See how it's going.
Just
Yeah,
looking
that's
up.
what we should, because
There
it's
might
a
be things
pilot
that you
program,
haven't
it's a
thought
pilot
of yet,
program.
that you turn out to need, or things,
Yeah.
you know, that
Okay.
aren't working as you thought.
I know one of the concerns was keeping staff. We've already got people chomping at the bit, ready to sign up and
Help us
start
out.
working.
Sweet.
Good problem to have.
It is a
Yeah.
good program.
Absolutely.
And just, this is probably a little premature, and I probably should say this, but just a little history. One of my focuses when I was appointed chief was to have part-time people. This was 8 years ago. Tried it back then. We did run medical at that point. Once we started running medical, I really started thumping that drum a little bit harder. I was told by one of our surrounding departments that I was crazy for even thinking of it. They now have part-time staff during the day because they couldn't get people to respond to calls. Talked to the chief of Lee Township, Teddy Chamberlain, today. They are trying to get part-time people to staff their station because they are now shorthanded. Lee Township used to have, what, 50-some people? They're down into the low 20s, and they get maybe 6 or 8 that show up, and most of those are the old guys,
Yeah.
and even older than me, that have been there, that's that have
No
been there for
comment.
years.
How old is that?
You know, let's just say a lot, some of them are in their 70s that show up.
It's just they seasoned.
Yeah. Well, I like,
I am a
it's,
seasoned person.
You know, Dave, I think.
it's like wine. A port, Beverly. A port.
I think of that story you told when we couldn't get anybody to respond. You were back at the school working, and this, I was 46th Street or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he has to come all the way from South Haven and get there, and then apply CPR, and he about needed CPR by the time he got there, right, Dave?
Well, I could feel the blood pressure rise with every
Yeah.
look at the, you know, the odometer.
If you look at the distance, man.
But Lee Township is now considering putting on part-time people because they don't have coverage during the day. And theirs, from what Ted said today, or excuse me, Chief Chamberlain said today, is they're not doing it for medical
They're not.
because they already have a medical service that they have coverage during the day. Their Lee Rescue, they already have that in place, so they already pay people for the rescue to be there. This is strictly for fires, because he, as I do, as these guys do, see the storm coming, that someday, these guys are gonna be at work. I'm gonna be at work. Everybody's gonna be at work. And we're gonna have a structure fire where somebody's trapped. And as fast as I can get here from South Haven safely, I do it. I'm fortunate because I get to leave. My boss tells me just go. Don't even talk to me, just leave. But
Is
he's,
there a benefit to us, Dave, with them being part-time? Because then our part-time employees might go there part-time
and theirs might come here, and I asked him about that today when we were talking. I
Might
said,
be a win-win.
if your guys are working part-time for you, they're all medically trained, they're fire certified. The second most important thing or aspect of this part-time is, number one, first and foremost, people are here to run medical calls. To get the life-saving aid to people that need it in a short duration of time. Second duty would be to roll that fire truck and possibly cut somebody out of a car or put somebody's house fire out. Every one of us have fought house fires by ourselves for a short period of time until other people show up. We do what we have to do to make sure that we get everything done that we can physically do. And to have that person there, if my house catches fire, I'm gonna be a whole lot happier than waiting 15 minutes for me to get to a station,
Yeah.
get a truck, and then get to the call.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. What do you want? Adjourn so we can convene?
Anybody else that needs public comment on the budget? more comments?
Yes, I'd like to jump in a little bit. Basically, there was really good cooperation amongst the whole team here to get together and work on this. And there were 5 regular meetings plus a couple sidebar things too. So there was a lot of effort and thought that went into it. And, we just need to consider before you guys actually, even with accepting the budget tonight, as I believe we're about to do, before you start hiring, we'd like to get a nod from our attorney that that's in fact fine in writing.
Yes, I just actually got it.
And I background check everyone through county. Everyone that we hire.
Now, are you talking about the cadet program or the
I haven't,
parent?
well, we don't have a cadet program as of yet, but that would be part of it.
Right.
However, sometimes when you're a minor, records are sealed, so we may not get everything. But every adult that we hire on the fire department is background checked.
Okay.
And occasionally, I just send off the papers and run everybody through again.
And I was gonna suggest when it comes to the cadet portion of it, that it's best if the background checks are not done at the same department that we're checking on, if you know what I mean? That we can run the background checks here,
Okay, you'd have to just get,
my Chad or somebody, yeah.
Why would you run a background check on a cadet?
No, not on the cadet, anyone working with cadets.
Oh,
We have to think about the liability
oh, definitely.
of adults and children.
Right, that's a horse of a different color.
Right, and it would make
yeah.
sense for the same people to run the checks that are being checked
Sure,
on.
definitely.
So that's why I'm saying that part, that piece would be broken out. But we do need to check with liability, with our insurance and all that as well, and just make sure our ducks are in a row before you actually start hiring. This is just the budget piece. This is about it. But the bigger question is the whole quick response out of fire department funds. That's the one that I thought you meant she answered on. Okay.
Well,
I have a question into Catherine for that, just a CYA.
Not really, it's an emergency.
in my understanding, in 2004,
Yeah.
it was voted that we change from Columbia Township Fire Department to Columbia Township Emergency Services, which covered the police and ambulance.
So it's 2004 is when that change
Yep.
happened?
And we already pay personnel to run medical calls.
Right, so hopefully, what we're doing is totally proper and that we're not gonna get ourselves into a hitch here, but,
I guess I don't even understand how we could, because we're paying fire department personnel to run fire department calls as requested by county.
It'd be no different than answering the fire department call.
It's not a
Still
separate, we're not a separate entity,
We're not-
rescue is not a separate
it's not a
entity
new-
from fire.
Yeah, it's one team.
when we've asked our attorneys similar questions, the answer is always, it depends on how it was stated on the ballot language. So, and you're saying there's no ballot, which is unusual for taxation without a ballot. So there's a tiny bit of research we still need to do just to make sure we're all set.
So what I'm hearing you say then, is even if this is approved today, we're not gonna start running paid QR on the first. If I understand you correctly.
I would say, let's give our attorney a couple of days and see before the first. She's not well today. Do you have people already started that you're talking about?
I got people that are standing at the door waiting to help us cover our medical. And when his wife is sick all day and my wife's sick all day and we're 20 minutes to the south, I don't wanna wait 20 minutes for somebody to get to my house and help me. And I thought we already talked about this. That's why I'm a little frazzled. I'm tired of the talk around. If you go looking for problems, if we go looking for problems, people, we're gonna find problems. Stop looking for problems. This is part of our mandate. Get it done. This is me not as a deputy chief, but me as a taxpayer in this township that's been here for almost 20 years. Stop it, let's get going.
And, I mean, to piggyback off that, if we stopped for that extra second and thought, maybe we shouldn't walk into the house that's on fire. I mean, we can what if stuff and just beat it to death.
No, I hear what you're saying. The question was raised though without actually seeing ballot language, and
That was beyond doubt.
I think Carrie, sorry, I'm thinking that it's more like fire prevention. She's thinking to prevent a fire, because in this township, we just want to make sure that everything we're doing is correct and legal so that there's no trouble later. She's not saying we don't want to do this.
The pure and simple fact is, we already
we
pay
are in
people.
favor of this. I can see the blood pressure going up.
We already pay people to run medical calls out of the fire fund. We've done it since the inception of the fire department. Back in '99, when we started using fire tools, I guarantee I can go back and look
Back
on
in
number line,
99, you were already,
run number 311 on fire tools as the reporting software we use. Under the type of call, number 311, I believe, number 311, medical assist EMS crew. I guarantee I go back to '99, we started using fire tools July 14th, 1999. Guarantee I can go back to '99 and find where we were already running medical assist to the ambulance. That's what this would be.
okay. Back at 99, I think there were two separate villages, and I think that's what caused the question. I think from what is being said here tonight, it would be prudent to assume that everything is fine with using fire funds this way unless we find out otherwise.
If it's not okay, the township is in very deep trouble because we've been doing it for years.
Right. Whether or not it was investigated before, I don't know.
And I guess I just.
But given what you're saying and the fact that it's already ongoing, I would say we only put the brakes on if we find out we never should have. And the odds of that are probably pretty slim, I hope.
Well, I hope so too, because the reality behind that is if we find that we have to reverse course, you're gonna lose a lot of people. And you'll be back to square one and you have to find basically a new team. And that's not a threat, that's a reality. Because people are they wanna help. And the reality is, my brother and I are paramedics, we can take care of each other. He'll call me, I'll talk to him, and vice versa.
Right.
We do this because we wanna serve. And when there keeps continual roadblocks to serving, eventually, if you tell people no long enough, they'll say, okay.
A lot of you have come to us and said, hey, we need more people. Mission accomplished, we're giving you lots more people. Don't deny it, because a lot of times they won't come back. They're just gonna say, whoa, that door's closed, see ya. So,
And this is a way, when I was appointed chief, and sorry if this runs long into the meeting, when I was appointed chief, and JC can back me up on this, this is harsh, but this department was a joke. Lee Township would have a fire on baseline, and they would call Clyde and Allegan before they would call us. Bloomingdale would not call us, period. They would call Gobles, they would call Ashtimo before they would call us. We now have automatic aid with Lee. We have an incredible relationship with Bloomingdale, and that is all due to the work of these guys. We've turned this department around, and I thought about this tonight. We have saved double-wide trailers, which doesn't happen. I mean, single-wides and double-wides are basically designed to puff. The shingles fall on the ashes, and it's over. At the end of 52nd, there's a double-wide down there. As a testimony to these guys on this department and the work and the progress we've made. We've saved that house caught fire, and we saved it, and they're still living in the same place. We are constantly looking to evolve and just get better for the residents of the township. And this is the next natural step to make sure that we provide the care that this township and the residents deserve.
I think that you guys sounds like you're doing a wonderful job. I hear a lot of good things about the fire department. I also hear people saying that they're they want this township board to do things different than all the other township boards that have supposedly done all these incorrect, illegal, maybe even immoral things from what you hear. So we're trying to be different as a board, checking in with the attorney to make sure that we're not getting you, your fire department, or our township in any jeopardy. We don't see that as a roadblock. We're trying to do this for you, not against you.
And I agree with that, as long as, like Karen, like you said, as long as we can proceed on the course we're on, and then if we find
So
out.
we're assuming we are on track unless
Correct.
something smacks us and says we're wrong.
Right.
But
And then
it would make
expedite,
sense that these can work together and that the funds can take care of both.
well, and the thing is we can provide staffed station, medical coverage, primary, secondary, fire coverage at absolutely not one more dime in taxes to the township. The money's already there. We roll over $40,000 to $60,000 every year because, as someone mentioned, I'm very Dutch. I don't like spending money. And if we can provide medical coverage, if we save one life with this, it's worth every cent we're gonna spend. And I agree, you should do things properly. There was, lawsuits don't
That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah,
get
we're not
lost.
trying to stop a good thing.
Lawsuits aren't
We're
lost
trying to
unless there's a
stop
reason to
bad
lose them.
things.
Well, I think your pulse after 6 months, I think that's a great place for it. Or sooner if it's wrong, but I don't think that's
Any
right.
other comments? Anybody from the board, any other comments? John? Okay, at this time, I'd like to adjourn the public hearing on our taxation session at 7:12. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Your pretzel.
We're gonna take a 5-minute recess and 5-minute break. Start our regular meeting.
Okay. Was there a lot of people out there?
No, but ours is just based on.
Okay, makes sense. Good call. I'm not well, I didn't even know you were getting my signal. No, I was just telling you. That's all right, if you, as long as you're in a position where we're not. No, you want to see from this side? So you're pointing. You're pointing to the side. When's birthday? You look good. I was thinking of getting my
I'll go down there and I'll walk it.
Right. What do you know about? Well, I was at Walmart 2 days ago, and remember Bev from? Yeah. So she's been there now for 20 years. 20 years. And, she told me, she said, I'm about to retire. She looked like she was very well, I saw Pete outside. Yeah. So him, for about 2 or 2. I hadn't seen him. She moved up the chimney, food chain, moved out, but.
Rose is over in Bakery.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, the people that know me are becoming fewer and fewer, and that's okay.
My mom was the guy that I worked under, electronics.
Yeah, some of the electronic, the core of the people are, what's her name? Hey, how's your wife doing?
And, because this weather is gonna help, she's been complaining.
It's been cold, but now we're starting to warm up.
I had her all time.
Something I'd like to tell you about that I heard, Lawrence has been dealing with some breaking and entering. Lawrence is just the south of us there. The reason I know is it's my assistant. They were in the open cars, and then 2 days later, they came back and busted into a bar. In the whole road. Now, I don't remember what road she lives on, but she was So anyway, they're in the area doing things. Oh, weren't they? Oh, I don't know what's going on, but I was looking at your map over there, and I'm pretty impressed with how few dots there were.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, ours is a runners, and, even that's swinging, but a lot of it's from gas and,
Sure. What'd you do to your hand?
That's old age.
That's the way it is, huh?
And I went to my doctor, Alan Gosling. He's retired.
Sure,
Yeah, old doctor, how old are you, John? I'm gonna be 85.
The doc says, suck it up, buttercup. I love it.
That's my buddy.
You know what? You can't say that too much to people anymore. That's pretty funny. I like it. Yeah, I saw it next to Got my dad's 73, he's having the same kind of problems. You do?
Yeah.
You would, I guess.
Suck it up.
Right. Forget about it.
And I'm firing a rifle, that's being okay.
Yeah.
To do that. And don't get me any heavier than that.
Yeah.
It's a deal I'm one that we had, you know. So I'm real good with that one.
Good there. I got you. Oh, yeah. All right.
So far this year, just from our region, we've had 5. Oh,
jeez.
5.
I had one of my students call me yesterday. She had to do CPR on her mom.
Oh, did she? That's good that she did it.
I'm thankful that they're out there that know what they're doing. Well, our Lucas device, so we got that, it's in service, we got that, put it right to work.
Did you?
So it's out in the truck. So that's well, you guys did that last one. Yeah. Did you hear him? No, Lucas was approved last one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It's in the truck. What
I
is
just
it?
wanted to come over here.
Only for a while, right?
I really do love it.
The other son, it feels like I mean, I know you guys are I know. It's just so frustrating. You get to this point, and I'm emotionally. I was just telling you, one of my students in my protocol, well, I'm not supposed to want to conversation. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, John?
Here.
Beverly? Here. Karen?
Here.
Linda here. Jeff Peters? Fire department report.
Well, I apologize, I don't have my standard report, but we were on a grass fire today, and my laptop that it is stuck in is in South Haven in my work truck, so. Last month, we had a total of 15 calls. 4 were structure fires, 2 were in Columbia Township, 1 was to Bloomingdale, 1 was to Lee. We had 4 down power lines, 5 medical calls, and 2 special type events or other. Where's John? What call, if you remember, because I don't have that with me, was on 53rd Street. I didn't have an address for it. There's one on 215.
One on 215 was the medical assistance cemetery.
Okay.
And it sounds like the 53rd one rings a bell as a medical assist as well. Year to date, we've had 40 calls for the rescue, so.
Last year, we had a total of 117. Today's grass fire call was our last call to date, and we're already at 59. So we're already more than half of what we were last year for totals. So the medical, again, is going to be probably 80% of our call volume. Any questions? Thank you.
Before we go to the next one, I need to make a motion to have Karen take the notes for the meeting, please.
I'll second that.
All in favor, John?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Linda? Sheriff's Department report.
Good evening, everybody. For the month of February 2019, there were a total of 127 dispatch calls. Broken down by department, those calls are 16 fire, 39 EMS, 62 police, 7 animal control, 1 medical examiner, and 2 records. The police incidents are as follows: 7 assaults, 1 CSC, 18 general assist, 5 medical assist, 5 traffic crashes, 3 fire assists, 2 larcenies, 1 BCSA, 2 B&E, 1 suspicious situation, 2 trespass, 4 traffic violations, 4 health and safety, 1 retail fraud, 1 civil dispute, 1 obstructing justice, and 4 abandoned hazards. I know John likes to hear about the B&Es. They were both legitimate, and like always, these people left their doors unlocked. So that I ask you, it's not the world we used to live in, it's today's world. Please lock your doors to your cars, to your vehicles, to your RVs. There are people out there and they are looking to get and take your stuff.
Were they in the township?
Yes, they were both in the township. In one instance, there was a chainsaw stolen, and the other instance, there was a couple bottles of booze. So more than likely, they were kids out looking for a good time. And by not locking the doors, obviously, you make it 10 times easier. It's a crime of opportunity.
Come on.
Yeah, yes. I patrolled 1,455 miles. There were 236 property inspections completed, 5 assists to other agencies, 2 assists to the Sheriff's Department, 3 liquor inspections, and I completed 30 sex offender verifications. Is there any questions,
What
comments?
do you feel on the property inspections that we've had since November and the amount of break-ins we've had since November? I mean, to me, it's fantastic, for the number of houses that are sitting here empty and us and you going out on the patrols as far as checking
Oh,
property.
and absolutely, in the 4 years I've been here, the houses and the cottages that I have on my list, I have yet, in 4 years, knock on wood, have had one of those residences to be broken into. So if you're going away for a weekend, if you're going away for the winter, whatever, it's always beneficial. You can contact the sheriff's department, you can go onto their website, there's a little tab at the bottom about a property check. You can contact me personally, you can contact the township, and we will take care of it and make sure that someone comes out and checks on your residence just to make sure that everything's okay and someone's there, not there that shouldn't be there.
Jason?
Yeah, because it's always a crime of opportunity. That's all it is. And if the opportunity isn't there, then
All 30 of the sex offenders were in the township?
Yes. You can go on the Michigan State website and see most of them.
No, I just don't want to.
I was just letting you know. Any more comments, questions, concerns?
Jason, so far, it's not part of your report to give a quantity of blight.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm personally, maybe we'll talk about that as a board, wanting that to be more of a routine
Okay.
thing that you can include in your report.
Okay. I have been discussing that with Linda, so,
Right. So we need to discuss it as a board.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
County session here tonight. Moving forward, senior services, Mr. Buckler?
I have no report tonight. I only want to say one thing, and that is that when you see a neighbor who is a senior that needs help, let somebody know. Call me if you want to.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people out there that could use our services that just aren't aware of it, and sometimes they're too prideful to ask, but they need help.
Thank you. Supervisor's report. This month, we've worked on the budget, we've got it complete, and I thank all the board members for attending all the meetings. We have some great valuable input, and thank you guys very much for your time and helping get this together. Also, Eric Nesbitt was here today to talk to the residents. Thank everybody that came out and had that opportunity to speak with them. Well, also thank the road committee. They've been working really hard to get our 3-year plans put together. I met with the road commission yesterday. We drove the roads for the seal coat and ditching. I've got a list here if anybody's interested. Also, I've sent out 6 blight letters since we've passed our ordinance. Blight has been a big issue, not only in our township, but all the townships, cities, and villages. The most recent thing is trash is being dumped alongside the roads everywhere, not just in our township, but all of them. This year seems to be more than normal. Just recently, we had a bunch dumped on 52nd Street, County Road 384, and 56th Street. And I'm sure there's plenty more that I haven't mentioned. So I would like to have a cleanup day. Anyone willing to give a few hours to drive along and pick up some of that, bring it to the transfer station, we'll make sure it gets taken care of. Also, I'd like to offer a free dump day, so I'd like the board to help me come up with some day to choose a day to do cleanup and free dump day. Most of our townships around here that have a transfer station, they offer a free dump day. So I feel like this would help our residents who are struggling. So I'd like for us to take a look at that and,
Sure doesn't matter for us.
yeah, we've got to try something to help our residents, and I'm just hoping that we can come up with a date within the next month, because, right now is a good time to get that done, when there's no rain coming up yet, so it's easier to see. So I'm hoping maybe we can set something maybe for the month of April to have a free dump day and have a cleanup day. Whoever wants to help clean up, just meet up here, we'll just go out and just start cleaning, and then take it to the transfer station. Okay?
I have something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hanging.
And that's all I have. he's not here. Treasurer's report?
Okay, since the last time we met, which was February 15th, I'm still in the heavy season for property tax collection. And at this point, anything that came in later, postmarked later, is all forwarded to the county. We can't collect here at this office anymore at this point. As we've mentioned, we really worked hard on the budgets together collectively. I do have a list of cash balances if anybody wants that. And just to tag on just a little bit, with the blight process and things, if we can add that to our agenda, if we have time at the end. That's just such a common, complaint that we have here. And we did pass that almost a year ago. And just like to see that moved up in priority, and we have an ordinance enforcement officer and just let him have free rein on that. And also, did you mention it? Don't you have a work crew coming from the county?
I do have a work crew coming.
When's that?
It's gonna be sometime in April. I gotta call into the sheriff, to the county, to Matt, and I'm just waiting to call back. From my date. It's gonna be in April.
That might be a good time to kind of coordinate the whole thing on one day, like.
Yeah.
Do kind of a launch to get it going.
Anything else, Karen?
Nope.
Don, neighborhood watch and cemetery.
Well, I would first of all like to ask a question about the blight. We have an officer, and he's responsible for blight. Now, let's walk through the procedure. Number one is what, a warning? Okay, you get a warning. Is that a warning in writing?
What's that?
That, on a blight complaint,
Yes, our process started out
but
where
as a warning?
me and Linda went out to residences and chosen residences that we believe to be blight, and then a letter is written by her and sent to these individuals.
Okay. Now, do you have the authority then to issue the complaint, the fine? And
Well, according to the process that we developed, that's down the road. Because now, after this letter's been issued, they have a certain amount of time to come in and contact us.
Okay,
And if they don't contact us, then we move on to the next step, which would be the issuance of the piece of, the warning letter, which gives them approximately 14 days to get it picked up again. And if they show progress, they are to be given extra time.
okay, now let's get to the money part of it. At what time, are you authorized then to issue the claim for the month?
Then I submit a report, yes.
But right now, are we doing it only when a complaint is received, or, I mean, from my standpoint, I'd like you to be able to just use your own judgment. I mean, that's my opinion.
That's what he's been doing.
And just, if you see blight, start the notice process right then.
Like I said, I do whatever you guys ask of me. I've been doing exactly what's been asked of me.
Right, so, and I understand, if you don't have clarity other than tonight, then it's high time that you should have it, and that's on us, if we haven't made it clear. I don't think that we ever specifically said whether it's complaint only, or if you see blight, you put some kind of a notice, and it can start with a friendly notice, and give people opportunity to clean their own. You know, to me, the goal is not a bunch of citations, the goal is cleanup.
Well,
So anything we can do as a community to make that.
Oh, I understand that completely. There is, and I'm just gonna throw that out there, I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus, but half of the residences that we did, signified as being blight were going back for taxes and now are owned by the township. So
that's another problem, I'm glad you said it.
no, and I just wanna throw that out there, I'm not trying to embarrass anybody or anything like that, but half of the ones that are being brought to me have gone back for taxes and are now in the process of being owned by the township.
Oh, in the process, you're not owned yet, or?
Well, the 3 years has passed, so I don't know if that's an immediate, all of a sudden it's owned by the township, or how that whole process works. Because I was told that if you don't pay your property taxes for 3 straight consecutive years,
Right.
the property then becomes in the possession of the township?
County.
Oh, the county, okay.
Okay.
then-
Yeah, the county would offer it to us.
Okay, okay,
But we
then
may
that was my
not take
mistake.
it.
Then those properties, half of them are owned by the county now, or in the process of being.
So either way, you'd be wanting to help clean it up if it's hard for the county. No, but we need to work on that and to know which properties those are. And it does sound like there's intent to really get a little more enthused about this now that, you know, snow's melting. This is a good time
Yeah,
to
this
really hop on.
last month, I spent numerous hours going around finding trash dumps so they could be picked up on these cleanup days.
Right, that's wonderful. That's what I think we're looking for, because potholes and blight are the main complaints that I think we hear, really.
The only thing that I ask about the blight, you know, especially when the complaints come in, I need a little more than, it's the house down here that's blue that has the white shutter and the tree in the front.
Sure,
I need
sure.
more information than that.
Yep,
An address would be helpful, or, you know, a more specific location with street names.
sure.
And what exactly is the problem? Because a lot of these people will come in and file these complaints, and it's not even part of the blight ordinance, it's not blight. Like I had one recently where some people use toilets as decorative planters. Well, some people find that to be blight, some, it's art. So, and according to the ordinance, that's not blight because they're using it as a flower planter.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get unusual exceptions.
So, and the reason I'm bringing this all out is so the crowd can hear.
Yeah,
because
and
there's
we
just
have a
little
good
ins and
group
outs
tonight,
and-
so that's
Okay.
good.
A lot of
Yeah.
skeletons in the ground, well, maybe I should rephrase that, but we got blight coming out now that the ground is soft, you know.
And Jason, if someone has dumped garbage on your property and you find a bunch of things in there with their names and addresses
Oh,
on
yeah.
there, is there something that you could do then?
Yes,
Because
that'd
my
be
neighbor
it.
said, no, they won't do anything, they just said, oh, you could just pay some, they could have just hired someone to dump it or something.
No, usually what will happen if you find names, we will take those names, we will go to the people's houses, interview them. If we feel we have enough evidence against them that they were the ones that dumped the trash, then we put together a report and, for illegal dumping, which is under health and safety in the criminal law code, and we can send it out to the prosecutor for a possible warrant for their
good.
arrest.
And if not, it would probably shake them up a little bit to see at the door.
Absolutely, and
where
then,
the
you know,
garbage
it's also
that they dump.
mentioned during those interviews that, you know what, this is, you know, we've seen this one time, it better not be seen again, and I mean, some people just don't care and they'll just go elsewhere. But, you know, if their name is continuously found throughout the county and the prosecutor's getting a bunch of reports, then they're not gonna put up with that kind of behavior.
Well, I know if I'm dumping garbage on somebody else's property, I'm not leaving my car.
Well, there's spin-off benefit too, isn't there sometimes that when you are lawfully on a property that you might see something else that needs attention,
absolutely.
that is within your purview? It wouldn't be ordinance for us, it would be just
Yeah,
other violations.
Yeah, there's
that
a
become
multitude
apparent
of
that-
things that could happen, yes, absolutely.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay, John? Go ahead.
Then we go to neighborhood watch. My meeting is on the 4th of April, and we're going to be talking about the search program. And, it's, underused in a lot of cases, and you do go to school for it. And it's something in this type of an area, a rural area, that we have, and a lot of older people, that would be a great accomplishment for people to, come and understand what it is and what it does. So that's what we will have on the 4th. And I'll have someone from the, Van Buren County Sheriff's Office here. And if we can get, some type of, point of, whatever they call that, he'll bring that with him.
PowerPoint?
That's good, very good, Karen, thank you. So, the other thing I wanna bring up is on the cemeteries. I propose that we put a flagpole into Grand Junction West Cemetery, and that flagpole will say, "This flag flies in honor of all veterans that are buried in Thompson Cemetery, Grand Junction East Cemetery, and Grand Junction West Cemetery." They are gone but not forgotten. God bless them. That's what I wanna see going to the cemetery. It's a 20-foot, I got something.
Beverly.
Last month's planning commission, meeting, we, reviewed, draft tax amendment for the CBA, 6.03 and 6.04, which would be a renumbering. That's all we did was review and looked at typos and stuff. We completed a work session, on section 5 of the master plan. Leslie and Christie will make edits and present that section at our next meeting for approval. We'll begin reviewing section 6 of the master plan next month. And there will also be a public hearing at the April 9th meeting, which is next month's meeting, for Old Dunes Farm LLC, medical marijuana grower. They've applied for a special land use. And that is all I have, unless, Dave, is there anything that I've forgotten?
That'll be the first one for the medical marijuana.
Yeah, the first one that got the state license, yeah.
Moving forward, consent agenda, we had several agendas because of all of our budget hearings. Everybody have a chance to look at those?
Well, I looked at them.
We need a motion to, approve the consent.
I make a
agenda.
motion that we give, not give them, to accept the, minutes.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor of Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Approval of the agenda, we need to add I, under new business, for Blight, putting a date. Any other things that need to be added? Need a motion to approve this agenda?
Also move.
I'll second.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Karen?
Yes.
Okay, yes. This time, we're gonna take a 3-minute comment from the public.
Well, first, it won't even take 3 minutes. I've started making my rounds to all the villages, townships, cities. It's gonna be about a 4.5 month process before I can hit everybody and touch base with everybody. Did the same thing last year. I started to write down everything we accomplished the last 2.5 years in the office, and there's 2.5 pages, and it looked more like a campaign trail as opposed to just coming out and talking to you folks for a minute, so I'm not going off that thing. Just a reminder for you guys, I've always got an open door. My phone's always open. In the 2.5 years I've been in office, I've returned every phone call, every email I've ever got. So if you guys ever see anything or have any questions with our office, feel free to give me a call. I will get back with you. If you ever need anything from our office, I know Jason's right here or anything like that, feel free to give us a holler. That's all it is. I'm just making my rounds to all these things, and folks come up tonight, so here I am. So,
I got a question for you. It has nothing to do with what you're doing. What do you think about the pot party in Bangor?
I think we're gonna have a little few extra cars that night.
I think
On
so.
420 from noon to 11, they're
I
shut down
heard
at 43.
15,000 people come. 15,000, man, that's
I heard 1,500.
1,500.
Uh-oh, start calling other people.
But no, Bangor actually reached out to us to ask us for help, so we'll probably end up putting some reserves up.
When I talked to Tommy, he said, well, he's got 7 officers and he can put roller picks on or something.
I'm not even sure.
That's gonna be quite a thing. That's gonna be quite
You got any questions for me? No?
Anybody else have a comment?
Your free dump day, is that in addition to the 2 punch cards you can get?
Anybody else?
You know, I've been getting a lot of complaints about the ticket price. Maybe the board ought to consider lowering the price of the tickets And maybe the people will bring more of the garbage in instead of letting it lay on their yards and side of the road. It's just something you may want to think over, lower the price of them. Because the people are saying that $20 is just too much money. Okay?
I had a question. If the township or the county owns property that has got blight on it, can't the jail crew be used then to take care of it?
They probably could pick up trash.
They can.
Yeah.
You just call. We got weekend crews that's always looking for stuff too to help out townships.
What are the parameters of what they are allowed to do? Just pick up trash pretty much, or?
Pretty much, bag it, do all that stuff, clean up property. We go out to the flywheelers a couple times a year, get that ready for their events. We got the crew on the weekends, plus we got match crew during the week, so we got crews 7 days a week, so stuff like that, they could definitely step in and help out townships.
Can they clear brush or anything like that?
Yeah.
But they can't work on private property.
Only if contracted, and we don't get contracted. These crews, as of right now, the way our budget's set up, we can still do it for nothing, just because they're sentenced people, and it's a way for them to work off their sentence.
Right.
So, yeah, if, let's say, you called up and said, hey, I want the crew cleaning my property, it probably won't happen.
Right. I was told at one time that they couldn't do it for private property if.
Correct, it's still the same.
Yeah, anybody's.
Anybody else? Let's move forward. Sorry, Jerry, did you?
Yeah, I just, comment about the blight thing. It's not rocket science. I took care of 4 townships, and the board said, whatever you see during your patrol, time, stop in and see the people, take care of it. In the 4 years I did that, I only wrote 2 citations. My philosophy was you talk to the people, you work with them. Most of the people can't clean it up in 10 days or 14 days. Sometimes it took 2 or 3 months. But at least they did it. And my philosophy was that I don't want to write you a ticket to have you spend your hard-earned money to go to court when you can use that money to help clean up the property. And the township doesn't want to spend the money for attorneys to go to court.
Yeah.
And while I did that, one of the townships busted a car in where they were chopping up cars. Got 2 or 3 B&Es solved. Found a lot of meth labs, a lot of other drug paraphernalia. Sent some people back to prison, and the township was real happy about it. I'm not going to name the townships because it doesn't matter. But my comment is, in the patrol hours that Jason does, and I know he's trained just like the rest of us were, for little indicators that you see on the property. As long as you're there for blight, you're there legal. If you see something else, you can pursue it. See something from the road, from the public roadway that you know is stolen, you can go in there and talk to the people. So it's not rocket science. When you work with the people, you can clean it up, and generally the people are really positive about it. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you for your comment. Moving forward. We have no unfinished business for change. New business going forward. We start going through our resolutions. We need to start adopting.
Yep.
Okay, so the first one is going to be consideration of resolution 2019. I don't have a number for that one. I think it's 4. Slight amendment from, budget amendment for 2018.
Light on the brain.
Yeah, 2018-2019, that's for anything that was needed to be amended. So I need to make a motion to accept the amendment.
Here's my copy. Out of order. Yeah.
Is that resolution 04?
I believe so, yeah.
So first, the budget amendment, so 2019-04. Yep, I found it.
Do I have a motion to accept this resolution? This is the amendment. I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
I will second. I'd like a little bit of comment.
Now we can have some discussion.
This was prepared by our clerk who isn't here, so if we had any questions, we can't ask right now. But this is also routinely done at the end of every year. So I guess I would just say that my approval would be based on kind of assuming that this is correct. I know the whole idea is if any line items were over, we're getting them back in line. So intent-wise, I have no issue with it. I just have not been able to verify the data, is all.
Okay. Anybody else have a comment? All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
And a yes. So passed. Moving on to the next one is our budget adoption. We've got many meetings to put this budget together. I'd like to make the motion that we accept it as is,
In the summary form,
in the summary form.
I will make that, I'll move that.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes. It is gonna be important to mention summary in our.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you make the motion and I seconded it? Yep.
Next one is moving on is, consideration of resolution 2019-06, payment certain monthly expenditures to Boyd Penalties. And that would include electric or utility bills, banking things, advertising, credit cards, wages, those kind of things. So at this time, do I have a motion to accept this resolution?
I make a motion to accept that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
And a yes. It passes. Moving on, consideration of resolution 2019-07, banking institution. The resolution to accept Chemical Bank as our bank. Do I have a motion for that?
I make a motion that we, have that result, banking institutions. Yes.
John second.
All in favor, John?
Yes.
Beverly?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Fire levy. This is, our levy for our fire, and I think that there's a typo error in this. It should be 2.02, not 0.2.
Where's the typo?
You don't have that? I think it's correct for in the mill.
Is it?
I think it is, because I think it would be 2.0 mils, but I think without the word mils, I think the .002 is correct.
I
So you wanna insert bills in there?
Decimal, it's
Yeah,
a
don't
decimal thing, I wanna make sure it's right. Do we wanna accept this, okay? As written?
Yes, and again, I think this is routine,
It is
repeated
routine.
one year after year.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the players levy.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Did you change that to say 2 mils? Or are you still leaving a .002?
It's actually 2 mils. I think she's done, the way it's written is without the word mil.
Did you put in parentheses 2 mils
You can do that.
after the .002? I appreciate that.
The next one is consideration for setting our salaries and wages, and I need to add something that was left off of this one. So down at the bottom, we need to add FF2/MFR. And bottom here.
Yes, I know the one you mean. Is that the right wording? What we're trying to get at,
It is the right wording, please.
okay, it's the part-time staff that didn't used to be on our salary resolution. We need to include that line and calling it, well, they've got weekly coverage, but you're saying the FF.
Medical, is it, are you putting it as MFR? What are you thinking?
MFR, FF2.
Oh, okay,
Weekday
right.
coverage.
Well, we could be hired certified MFR.
Right, I think what you would like there is EMS licensure, because, the minimum expectation is MFR, which is what we're licensed to, but that would also include EMTs, EMT specialists, and paramedics. So all 4 levels of medical pre-hospital licensure.
So it needs to be FF2, MFR, EMS license. The annual budget is $25,000,
An hourly rate of 10.
an hourly rate of 10.
That's what we talked about.
Now, does that resolution, is that paid every other week?
It's, right now it says, hourly, monthly, or bi-weekly.
We did talk at our meeting of having it monthly.
I really think you're gonna find a whole lot more people are gonna be willing to take the job if it's bi-weekly. It's hard to expect someone that this may be their primary income to wait.
So you are thinking that that's what
Yeah.
it's gonna turn out to be?
I think that's what it needs to be.
No, I think you guys are talking about different
It's gonna
things.
be regular income.
It's regular income, not primary.
Not primary, but regular income.
For instance, the couple that I'm thinking of, they don't need it to survive on, but they need it as a budgetary item within their survivable money, if that makes sense. So, if I know I'm gonna get 2 shifts a month, I can put that in my budget. If that makes sense, or 2 shifts a week, or.
Okay.
Oh, well, the only question that I have is, we have to approve, at this meeting, people get their paychecks because the board has approved it. How would we
Right, and
accomplish that?
that's partly why we've always synchronized paychecks with our meeting, is because of the approval process that we're always supposed to follow.
Shop it out.
Okay.
Say it louder, Jim, yeah.
Shop it out.
Have a,
You have an accounting firm do it, they'll do it for next to nothing. I mean, it'll save you time and headache, because I know that's, hey, time is money, I got that. Don't recreate the wheel, I've already fought this fight, just shop it out. Accounting firm, and then make sure that there's 3 signatures on it, or the ability of, 3 signers on it, so if one of you goes down, God forbid,
Well,
and.
that's what we have you for.
Maybe. You beat me to it. We'll see, but you know, that way Dave can sign or somebody else can sign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So shop
we
it out.
do, yeah, and we do have other township kind of rules as far as check signing and stuff too, it pretty much has to stay, the state laws would be the treasurer and the clerk.
The resolution, 2019-06 that you just approved has in there paying wages before the board meeting as an expenditure. And if you can do that.
That's true, that one,
you
that
should
line
be able
item
to
is on
put that
there,
into
so
it.
that could be done as an exception.
That's correct.
So that's why I had it slash monthly slash five.
And I can tell you, I don't mind doing my part of it. I can't speak for people if they're not here. And what about, we did talk about in our budget meeting, a time card situation at the station. Because I think it would help you guys and us for the payroll part of it.
Oh, definitely. Well, and two, the signal services I received a bill for was incorrectly sent. We spoke about that. I had the person that installed our camera system come over and verify everything was working properly, so that if there's any discrepancies on what we think people are working, what they're actually working, we can go back on a timestamp video and verify when they were there and what they were doing, if they were doing what they're supposed to be doing, or if they need to sit down in the chat.
Very good.
Okay.
So we need to add that to our resolution. Step 2 / MFR / EMS. With an annual budget of 25 monthly / bi-weekly at $10 an hour. So. I'm gonna make a motion to consider the setting of salaries and wages. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Karen?
Yes.
Yes. Moving forward, consideration resolution 2019-10, to set our regular 2019-2020 meeting schedule. And it is always, it starts the third Tuesday of every month for our board. That's the last meeting, or the last month, which is March, so it's the fourth Tuesday of the month. And our planning commission is going to be the second Tuesday of every month. That said, I'd like to make a motion to accept these dates.
Second.
All in favor, Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Can I just ask Beverly a question? Yeah, I had a chance to verify the board meeting dates. I did not look at planning commission dates. Do you know if they're typed in correctly?
I believe they are. I did look at them today with the calendar, so. I hope they are.
Okay, you did, yeah, okay.
Karen?
Yes.
Consideration resolution 2019-11, Fire Cadet Explorer Program. This is a program that's going to be sponsored by our fire department for a cadet firefighting program. Is that correct, guys? So before, I'm going to make a motion that we accept this resolution. Do I have a second?
I got it, second.
This time we can have some discussion. Is there any questions you guys want to ask Jeremy while he's here?
Let me stand up so I'm not talking to my brother's head. Shoot.
What's that?
I was looking at, see, it's my brother's head. It looked a lot like my grandpa's head.
There you go.
My monkey pit.
So this would likely be students that you guys have?
Not likely, it is. So it is truly the youth of today. So not a whole lot of new blood in here. So if you want it, you got to go get it. You know, and when those folks leave, look at you, you know, when those folks leave and you say come home, you want this to be that home. So.
Right.
Would you draw from the high schools?
Well, 15 different high schools, as a matter of fact, yes.
we have a unique opportunity. My brother and I both work at the ISD, and so we can poach those kids.
Already poaching.
The best of the best. We do it on purpose, because we want the best for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Well, and we need to face it in this township, we don't have jobs, we don't have housing. We have a hard time finding people. We need to get them from wherever we can get them, be it cadets, be it part-time people that are here during the daytime. We need to get people from wherever we can get them.
And you don't have to pay for the schooling.
I think that's the best part.
Well, they're currently enrolled in a firefighter 1 and 2 program, or an EMT program. And that is something typically where the bill has been picked up by the township for the responders. That doesn't happen here. Wonderful taxpayers pay for all that.
Of Van Buren County.
So if I said something like, we should probably check with our insurance company first, you want to slap me?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I did give you all the paperwork, and the paperwork that I gave you was already pre-approved by the state. In fact, the state gave me that paperwork to give to you. So that language is solid. That comes right from the fire marshal's office, right from the state fire marshal.
I did read, and I think it's a great program. I think anything that anyone does to help youth is a good thing, and you're helping youth and you're helping the township. I did read an article about a township that's being sued because they didn't have their policies written correctly over a youth fire mentor, a young lady. Someone in the fire department was inappropriate. I'm not saying anyone on our fire department would, but this is this world now. We just don't know. So I think it would be prudent for us to make sure that we've got our ducks in a row as far as to prevent anything like that from happening,
Did you
to remove liability from the township, because that was part of the problem, was there was something with one of their procedures that wasn't correct.
Did you read the standard operating guidelines or the handbook for the cadets?
I did sit down and read
Right.
today what you had.
They're not allowed to be
and I
alone in
felt
the fire station. They're not, they have to be accompanied. All that's in place. And also in that packet was a waiver of liability that the parents must sign, along with an application and whatnot. Yes.
And
also, we're not gonna put these kids in danger. They are, and we're not, like, they're young, throw them in the fire, no. It's
they will
nothing
not.
like that.
No,
These people are here to learn, they are here to be firefighters and medical personnel.
They're there to watch and observe.
Well, and to do some minor skills, and they're also there to learn. So, and to do some small skills outside of the hot zone. So they're not gonna go into that dangerous area. And as far as, I don't know if you're talking about inappropriate conduct between adult and minor.
yes, that's one of the things.
Yes, so and that's why it's built in there that they cannot be alone at that fire station with one other person. There has to be more there.
Good.
So, that is something that has, you know. that's
Boy Scouts have done it, Girl Scouts have done it.
Right.
It's too deep
And
leadership.
this case it was involving the scouts, and, you know, they're great programs. Unfortunately, there's some bad people out there in
Boneheads everywhere.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if you ever want to see how success works with those, all you have to do is check out Hartford's cadet program, Madawan's cadet program, Goebel's cadet program. I need to keep on
And
going.
of course, the initial one would be like you were talking about the iChats before, to get that initial background check as well, so.
Right.
I mean, it's on both ends. It's an ongoing and it's an initial as well.
And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to do. I think it's a great thing to do. I just think that we want to be sure that our procedures are protecting the youth. And then we also want to make sure that our paperwork, where the parent waives the liability for injury or whatever, that those things are just all in order, that's all.
We should have already done that,
With our
correct?
attorney.
Yeah, the attorney's already approved it.
Awesome,
Great.
awesome. So make sure after you approve this, like in 2 seconds, that I get a copy of that, because I have to submit that to the state.
A copy of,
Awesome, thank you.
a copy of what?
The resolution.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
And two, any worries about the 2 topics we've talked about, one of the things that I clamp right down on is any sexual harassment type stuff. That was one of the first policies written when I was appointed chief, because it was horrible down there. I was uncomfortable with people down there at certain times when I was an adult. And it was really bad, and we've clamped down on that, and I clamp down on cussing. I mean, that's not, we try to run it very professional. And John,
put a jar out there, and if it cuts you, throw a bucket.
and if you're worried about anyone being put in danger, I don't even let, John was an adult, and after he graduated class, I wouldn't let him go into any buildings that were on fire without someone who was seasoned, that I felt comfortable sending someone new in. And they had direct orders from me, you might remember this, John, when you go to a mutual aid or an automatic aid, and their chief tries to send you in with someone you're not comfortable with, you simply state, my chief will kill me if I go in there.
My original fires were, usually I went in with an officer. So, I mean, we're all pretty well taken care of. We have a good atmosphere going, so we have a good thing going here.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to say that I think most firefighters, medical first responders, all those types of things, I think most of you guys are heroes. And I believe that you guys want the same thing that everybody wants. You want
And police officers
to protect the township, you want, yes.
Well,
It goes without saying, guys.
all public safety.
So,
I can
when
tell you,
I'm
Jason,
asking
you
these
saved my life.
questions, I'm not doubting the fire department, your intentions, your abilities, nothing like that. That township that got in trouble, I'm sure most of the people there had the best intentions. So, all I'm doing is trying to be cautious.
Appreciate it.
that's all.
And if the brownies wanna jump in, we can do deputies too. I heard the host trying to
Come on, Dan. I'm thinking they're after him.
I've got a bumper sticker that says firefighter created because cops need heroes. I'm gonna put it on your patrol.
Okay, so we're done with our discussion. All in favor of Beverly?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Linda, yes. Motion passes. Our last thing is Blythe Day.
Which we,
He did, yeah.
just when you need it.
I don't know who this is.
No. So, I wish Matt would've got back with me. I know it's in April.
Are we talking about the cruise?
Yes, the cruise coming in. I would say it's, around the 10th. If we did something on the 13th. We can always send out flyers and things like that. And we can-
So an Easter cleanup? Or a Holy Week?
Spring break. It took 5 of us 3-4 hours to do my road, which is a mile. That's better.
So let's just do like a week of cleanup, and then on Saturday, we go down to the transfer station and we'll take it from there.
On the cleanup crew, we asked the high school, maybe they could send some kids.
Good idea. We'll do that.
Maybe kids might want to do it for, are they required to
Right.
do some community service?
NHS and stuff like that, graduation
Yeah.
requirements.
So,
Should we have a rain day for cleanup?
I don't think we set one. Said sometime in April, I think.
yeah, so we can either do it the second week in April or the third week in April.
Is there any school vacations coming up in that stretch?
Spring break starts Friday.
Start this spring?
Yeah.
Won't get anyone that week.
No.
So one through 5 is spring break.
Yeah, they already got the pictures on the TV about how they're doing the spring break down in Miami.
So, what is the board say?
Take a turn at TV
Second or the third week in
also.
April. Have a week of it, and then on the Saturday, have them do the 2,
Are you trying to line it up with the work crew and you're not sure of that
I'm
date?
not sure that date because he didn't get back with me.
Can we just approve having a date and then you set the date when you hear back from them and then put it on the board and the website?
We can do that. You guys are comfortable with that?
So are you thinking an actual 7-day week for this? Is that what?
I'm thinking. We can make it several hours because there's a lot of trash along the side of the road.
And right now, you're thinking the 10th might be the day that the work crew's
I'm
coming?
thinking it might be the 10th,
So maybe the 7th through 13th?
but if you could get it,
We should check the dump schedule and make sure, maybe you know offhand, or maybe Rhonda knows.
Sunday.
Which one do you have a Sunday instead of a Saturday?
They're always the first Sunday of the month.
Yeah, it'd be the
Sunday.
7th.
Yeah. It'll be a week from this
So if
Sunday.
they started on the 8th and go to the 13th, have the 13th be the actual day, they can take it out.
That sounds good. I think so.
Let's take the second week, April 8th through the 13th, and the 13th be the actual day they can take it out. So cleanup week, all week. Whatever you find alongside the road, let's get it picked up, and if you're willing to help out, starting the 8th through the 12th, and then the 13th, we'll line it up to the transfer station and get rid of it.
And is it free that day, you're saying
Then
as well?
the 13th for any pickup alongside the road.
Okay, so you're going from the 8th to the 12th, what's the free day?
The 13th.
The 13th,
13th, okay.
because that's Saturday.
Anything that's picked up alongside of the road.
A lot of tires out.
What do you think you take out of the lake?
If we bag things up and leave it on the side of the road, if it's not our yard, that any time during that week, if we're doing it ourselves, you know, I mean, can it be sitting out for, and then will it be picked up, or do you pick it all up at once and
So
then
if
you can't take it to, you know, if you bag it ahead of time,
If you bag it ahead of time and set it somewhere.
yeah. Well, like, where we are, nobody's gonna come on by us to pick up anything if we put it out. But we could put it like on 384,
Yeah.
So if,
you know, we could put it out by the road, that
if
would
we
be
know that
picked
you're
up.
gonna do that, we can have somebody come and pick it up.
If we did, yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of
Because I know that,
seasoned residents that live on the island.
mhm.
I caught you.
That actually need help, so if you bag it up, give us a call down here at the town.
But I mean, even if we wanted, if somebody in our group wanted to go out on 384 and pick some stuff up and just leave it, I mean, I don't know if anybody would, but, you know.
Yeah.
Like an adopt a highway kind of.
Yeah, right, yeah, uh-huh. And then if we had it by the banks, then the big car could come by and pick it up and then take it to the dump.
You just need to let us know if you wanna just.
Yeah, okay, I just
Put
wondered
it
how we
in
would
one
do that.
designated spot, like that, I'll even come and pick it up.
Yeah, but when you come and pick it up, what are you gonna do with it until the dump's open?
I'll take it to the recycling. I mean.
But you'll only be able to do that on the day that the recycling's open, that's what I'm
Right, I have a
saying.
truck, I can stick it in the back of my truck.
I mean, what?
Yeah, we can put her on a seat next to her, please.
We'll find a way, Marcia.
No, I was just wondering,
If
if
you're
you know.
willing to help, we'll find a way to make sure it gets done.
The last thing we want is complaints on the next day about the trash.
Yeah, out on the road.
Right, but if you're willing to help, we'll find a way to get it taken care of.
Yeah, okay, I was just wondering how it was gonna work, so we could get it all organized.
Just call, but we'll find a way to get it taken care of. That sounds fair?
Oh, yeah, I was asking in general.
Public comments, anybody have a comment?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to say sincerely and humbly from the bottom of my heart that I can't express how much I appreciate you passing that. I feel it is the most important thing that this township and fire department has ever done.
Besides making the fire department.
Matt's gonna call you tomorrow.
Second most important.
All right.
Thank you. Board comments. Any of the public comments on this?
Well, I'd like to say that, when you went through the budget, you were very thorough. I mean, probably the most thorough I've ever seen this township do on a budget. And that's a good thing. I really think that's a good thing. You asked a lot of good questions.
It took us 5 minutes. We
So
didn't
very
do
good.
it, but we did it. Plus a few extras with Karen and I.
Very good job.
Anybody else? Board comments, Becky?
Oh, yeah, I'll take my turn here. I would like to thank you guys, and I would like to tell everyone that all these questions that, especially that Karen asked, she's not being a bad guy, she's being the numbers person, because she's really good at numbers.
Because of all the way we
And
do
these
it.
guys working together so awesome, and it's been a learning process, and I wish I could have added more to it other than just asking, why do you do this, why do you do that? And then the litter. I'd like to say, I go out a couple times a year, and I'm sure, I bet a lot of you guys do too. And I walk my road, and we pick up bags of trash. We take our little tractor and trailer down there, there's so much. And so much of it is alcohol bottles and beer cans and stuff, but I guess I just want to say, keep doing it, because it's the only thing that keeps the roads looking half decent. I hate it in the spring, this time of year, when all the snow, the beautiful snow is gone, and you see all these bags of garbage and beer cans and all this, and when I see someone run down my road and throw out a beer can, it's a good thing I don't own a gun, because I could shoot them.
Oh, you said that.
The deputies.
Well, I said I feel like I could, I didn't say I would, and I don't own one, so there's a little bit.
If you get reports of drive-bys.
72-hour evaluation, guys.
One of the things that Neighborhood Watch does, and this went under Dale when he was sheriff, we go down the trail, and we look for meth drops. And we found some in some cases, and that's what we're there for. The road department says something to me, or one of my guys, you gotta be marked. Car's gotta be marked. What are you doing on the trail in the car? Call the sheriff.
So just one thing on the license, picking up the garbage, if you find like empty bottles, like soda bottles that look kind of milky or just doesn't look right,
You stop right there.
yeah, just don't pick it up, call just.
Yeah, call our office, because what'll happen is they call it bones. It'll actually reactivate sometimes if you move it, shake it, and it'll actually blow up.
So just if you see an empty bottle that's got a milky color to it, don't pick it up, call them right away, please.
Can I make a comment on that?
Yeah.
I did call the sheriff's department on, I found some weird stuff, like a Coleman and at the river, so I find weird things there and some big pop bottles, so I was afraid it was that. And I was kind of hesitant to call, but I have to say, they were very nice to me, they didn't treat me like this weird dumb old lady that thinks everything is a mess thing. They were very professional, very kind, and they did come out and
Yeah,
check
meth labs
my
aren't
garbage.
predominant like they used to be, because the cartel actually got into the meth trade now, so they're shipping it up from Mexico. So it's not actually getting cooked like it used to in the past.
Yeah, you got pop bottle,
Karen?
No, I'm really encouraged with how many people came tonight, and, you know, anytime we can think the best of each other and realize, even if we don't agree on something, or we mishear something, that we're trying to do the best, and always be willing to ask each other for clarification or something, and just try to keep things positive as much as we can.
And
On that note, I'm sorry, one last comment. I also wanted to acknowledge Linda, because not being a regular numbers person, I would not want to take on the task of this budget.
Yes,
I just wanted
absolutely.
to put that out there.
yeah, well, Karen helped a lot, so we worked together as a really good team
We
on this.
did.
So, yeah, we did.
Well, that's the way I look at the board. I look at the board, there's no me, I, or we on the board. There's us, and we report to you. And then we do that in unison.
So, my final comment here is, we got some more road work coming up. Elliot, do you mind coming up? Elliot is he's my deputy. And he has been doing our road committee, him and Dave. And the fire department. So, year one, they have year one completed on the Silk Code, which I drove around with the road commission, and we checked out these roads, and they totally agree with you guys. Thank you very much. I'll let it go. So,
The basics of it were, we have a map that we get from the, road commission that shows the condition of all the roads, and they have what's called a Pacer score.
Yeah.
And we took the, basically, Dave and I kind of looked at everything and went with anything with a Pacer score that was around a 3 or 4, and we had them, slated within the budgeted road miles every year to get those done.
What did you find out on 388?
388 is county. That's county's responsibility. We're trying to work with them right now. I believe Linda's had some discussions with them as well to try to see if we can chip in a little bit of our money to get them to do part of the roads out here bit by bit, because 388, of course, we all know. 388 is in bad shape. But that's a county road, that's generally would be within their budget, not ours. But we're trying to see what we can do to work with them to get that done. And in addition to that, find these roads. But what we had done is every year we set aside in the 3-year plan, we have enough, call it, extra mileage left after the roads we've recommended, that we can take something that's a little bit better condition, like a 5 or a 6, have that seal coated so that we can extend the life of that road, and then over the course of time, build a plan that would actually get the roads built back up and then maintain at a better level. Exactly. Try to get them, take the 3s and 4s, get them improved, and then get the 5s and 6s, keep them longer, and then kind of rotate through. It's quite a list of roads that we went through, of course, and we're waiting for some final numbers from the road commission on that. And just final little distances, like how long is this street to that street. We have a lot of it in the documents they've given us. I'm sure Dave's driven you nuts talking about this. No? Oh.
No.
I've driven less than that, so. More than that. But anyway, we're waiting for some final answers from the road commission on how long some of these stretches of road are. But generally, I think we're budgeting around 4.3 miles per year, and all of our budgeted stuff in there is about 3.4 to 3.7 right now. So we have a little bit that we can have a little bit of budget left over, take some of the 5s and 6s and then keep them longer. And also, if there's a major problem with the road, we'll have a little bit of money maybe to deal with that as well. Hopefully we don't find any of those, but.
So in the first year, we're looking at Silk Code doing 52nd Street from County Road 380 south to 24th Street, which is 0.99 mileage. Would you like to read this?
Read it just as well as I can.
54th Street from County Road 388 north to Baseline, which is 0.879, and the multiple small streets in Grand Junction themselves. That's one of the things that you guys are.
That's one of the ones we're waiting on, is I don't have a couple of the links of those streets are on the official.
So all those little side roads, all those little roads that you see in Grand Junction.
Railroad Street, Huron, Middle, South Haven.
St. Joe.
St. Joe, thank you, yeah.
So all those little streets. And then Silver Lake Road, which is 0.499, and then 14th Street from 56 to County Road 250, 0.195.
That's I believe that's a gravel road.
That might be a gravel road.
I believe that is a gravel road.
Right, so we're
It's on
looking
my
at.
list, it should be on the other list.
Yeah, so we're looking at right about 3 miles of road on Silk Code.
Was it 3.4, I think?
3.6 is what you've got.
3.6, okay.
But that's taking.
Oh, but yeah, if you take that off, yeah, so, yeah, about 3 miles.
About 3 miles of roads that you guys got planned for Silk Code, and then there's some left over if we find that
Yeah,
there's
other stretches of road that might need it.
So this is our first year on roads. Third and fifth, maybe by the next meeting we'll have more of a plan to share with everybody. They've done a really great job, and I want to thank them for taking all the data that I provided to them from the road commission, and they've really done a nice job of putting it together, and
Thanks.
thank you.
Thanks. Hopefully it works out, and then kind of our idea is next year we'll, years 2 and 3, bump them to 1 and 2 and add a third year and kind of keep going, or whoever's doing it by that point can keep going with this so that we always have a constant rolling 3-year plan so that we know what condition the roads are in and we can keep that kind of
And
momentum.
the road commission yesterday said that they were very pleased and very happy because not many townships are taking the initiative to do this, and they really appreciate it.
Had a great conversation with them last week at their meeting, so. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Just one thing for Dan, can we set up the, speed marker thing for Columbia? How fast they're going, it's 35.
Radar trailer?
They go by here like they're 60, you know.
You gotta call Lieutenant Sharon, it's actually getting fixed as we're
Who?
speaking. Lieutenant Sharon,
Oh,
they'll have a list on people that's requesting it.
okay.
I also set up here 3 times a week right here by the hall.
I know you do. You do real good.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Adjourn at 8.
Get your resolution. I know. Go get it. We're talking. We're talking.
Congratulations, Dave.
Yep, it's in the truck.
Used it yet?
Put it right in the car. The night before, the night before. It was the night before the approved it.
That's good, you'll enjoy that.
A lot less back there, absolutely.
All this back there? No,
Can I put the short sleeve one back there? That's right. Let them out a little bit. I got a smile like I also thought how I made it. If I would have send everything you're going to. I'm 20 minutes out.
You have a good night.
You got what you need? We must have been talking about it. It's gonna be about a week. We got a week. I put out available.